How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We are talking about a psychedelic biotech company today that's under 100 million in market cap, under $1. We've been talking about a lot of penny stocks recently, and psychedelics are a sector that I hadn't really looked into too much until recently. And honestly, it's got me thinking about it in a way that I haven't before, because when I was doing research on it, I didn't realize that this was something that is getting a lot of steam in America. You can see this is an article on the psychedelic drug market and how it's expected to grow. They're expecting a compounded annual growth rate of 16% between 2020 and 2027, and they're expecting to reach about $7 billion by 2027. A lot of big companies are looking into this, and there's a growing acceptance of these psychedelic drugs in their ability to treat people with mental health issues, and we haven't been able to find a good way of helping them in a lot of other ways. So we are looking at a penny stock today that I think could be very interesting for you. So before we get into it, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button and subscribe, that helps out the channel a lot. I really appreciate it. Now, just off the bat, I want to say this is a sponsored video. I'm getting paid to talk about this. There's a disclaimer down below. You can read it if you want. This is something that I've never done before, so I have had people reach out to me a lot about different companies, and I haven't felt like there was a good fit until now. I mean, with some of the companies that we've been talking about, I think this fits right in line with them, and this is a company that I think is kind of early on in their growth phase. So just right off the bat, this is a sponsored video, but they're not telling me what to say or how to say it. They're not reviewing this before I put it up. And I want to be clear, I don't hold a position in this company, and I'm not planning on starting one just because of this being a sponsored video. Also, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research on this company. So the company that we're taking a look at today is ENBI, that's a ticker symbol, or Entheon Biomedical Corp. Now, like I said, a lot of different states are looking at legalization or decriminalization of different psychedelics. I mean, if you just look up legalization of psychedelic drugs in the US, you can see a bunch of different articles on them legalizing all different kinds of medicines. Now, the reason that this company is looking into different psychedelic drugs is because there's just a major addiction problem right now. This is an article that kind of talks about the statistics of addiction in America. So almost 21 million Americans have at least one addiction, yet only 10% of them receive treatment. Some of them are alcoholism, drug addictions. There's all different kinds of addictions that we go through or people have. Now, the interesting thing about this company, first of all, it's a small stock, right? It's a small market cap. It's about $34 million. It's under $1 overall. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to use a drug called DMT for psychotherapy. The interesting thing about this is that they've shown that this is a fast action and short duration psychedelic drug when compared to other psychedelics. So their explanation for this is that they can give this to a patient or someone that they're working with, and they can see the results very quickly. And if they have a bad trip, if they have something that doesn't work well, they can get them out of that state pretty quickly because it's short duration. So they're able to get the people where they need to go much quicker psychologically, and then pull them out of it if it's not working. So this is going to help them with depression and anxiety. Now, just looking at the company itself, they announced that they are working with CHDR for phase 1 clinical trials, the Center of Human Drug Research. So they're working with an organization already to get the first clinical trial of DMT. They already work with a supplier of DMT. Now, this is their presentation here. They have a strong management team, and I'll show you that here in a second. Their main goal is to help people move forward with their lives, help them with whatever issues they're facing. And I hope I'm not saying anything wrong because I want to be careful about my wording about this, because I think we all want a very safe and addiction-free as much as possible life, and they're trying to move that way. They're a company that's trying to do good, which I think is important. They have begun the formal process of beginning clinical trials with DMT with a contract research organization partner. They've filed provisional patents in connection with DMT therapy, and as an addiction treatment and will be pursuing full FDA, Health Canada, and EMA regulatory approval. So their CEO, Timothy Ko, I've watched 3 different interviews with him. He seems to have had this affect his life just in general, addiction, not him specifically, but some of his family members. So he believes very strongly in what they're doing. They also have some different professors that work with them. They have a very experienced CFO. They have had a project manager that has led clinical trials before. And they have the director who's in the Department of Medicine, Surgery, and Pathology at the University of Illinois. So if you go through their scientific advisors too, they have a lot of different professors, research assistants. They have a lot of knowledge on their team. And here you can kind of see their timeline for different trials and just their estimated timeline in general. I think some of this has been updated, and I did get word too that they are looking to possibly acquire some companies. This is not set in stone or anything like that. They said that they were open to doing that though, just to try to gain some extra revenue. So something that I want to play for you is just something on the CEO, and then I'll wrap up with my final thoughts on this.
We're taking continuous infusion DMT through the regulatory approvals process. We have a contract research organization that we're working with in the Netherlands. They're massively accomplished, called the Center for Human Drug Research. And we also have a GMP DMT drug supply, and that's super necessary. Good manufacturing practices drug supply is needed because we do intend to put this into human use. So that is the core of what we're doing. We're trying to get a drug product approved by the EMA, the FDA, and Health Canada. It's a long process, but we have a ton of confidence in DMT being both safe and effective, and we're just going through the necessary steps to prove that out. We are ultimately going to be delivering this into a drug technology, sort of a very easy to use, physician-friendly delivery device, and then continue to sell units of the approved drug product to these various physicians, therapists, and clinics. And so that's the core of what we're doing. But we've got some really exciting announcements to be making about how we're going to employ technology, not only to benefit our research and future product development, but also in such a way that increases patient safety and physician awareness, not just with regard to our molecule, but across different molecule verticals. So we are essentially a sort of biotech drug discovery company, but in the coming months, we hope to make some really valuable announcements that demonstrate that we're also establishing ourselves in the technology space as well.
How are you guys looking on cash and equivalents? Running.
From a cash perspective, we're pretty adequately cashed up to get us through about the next 24 months of business operations. But of course, there are partnerships and technological expansions and acquisitions to make. So, we may sort of go to the market and seek more funding. But at present, we've got about $6 million cash in hand.
So I like the fact that they have a good amount of cash on hand. I am going to be watching this one to see what it does. I want to see what the CEO means by establishing themselves in the tech space too. I think that's interesting because it is a little bit different from what they're doing now. I think that's actually a good bit different from what they're doing now. So I think this is one to definitely put on your radar. Just to be clear though, do your own research. Like I said before, make sure you take a look at the company, but I think it is an interesting one. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you haven't done that already. Please hit subscribe if you haven't done that. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.